All right, dude, we are live. What's up, guys? This is Dem Keys, and today we're going to continue learning about um, Git workflows, Git-based workflows. More specifically, we'll continue focusing on branching, remotes, and hopefully we'll also cover tags. I don't know though. I'm not sure. Dude, okay, between yesterday and today, I kind of got um, let's say, distracted with looking into a bunch of things, including various NeoVim plugins. So, ever since I got into NeoVim, so like when I started when I started learning NeoVim, I didn't take the time to learn about configuring NeoVim and installing plugins, because the manual way of doing that is editing config files, editing key map files, and also setting up a plugin manager and then installing plugins by dropping um, various Lua files for plugins within some directory. I didn't take the time to learn this. It at the time it because there was a lot, like in my defense, there was a lot to learn within NeoVim, and I can kind of see why people don't often take the time to learn it. I took the time to learn it because I liked what I was seeing, and the more I used it, once I got the proper IDE experience that I was looking for, that's when I was like, okay, now I can see myself using this editor as an IDE. And so further from this point, I can start using NeoVim and just learn more and more about it as I go along. Um, once I like while okay at the beginning when I was exploring NeoVim, I was introduced to the concept of distributions, which is essentially, so I mentioned earlier, config files and key maps and, installing plugins and stuff. Um, Distributions are basically presets of these things. They're pre-configured environments with pre-configured options, pre-configured key maps, and also additionally there might be a set of plugins involved, a set of plugins included. There might also be a plugin manager. LazyVim is one such distribution. Another distribution I know, there's a bunch of distributions out there. One distribution that I do know about, that's why does that feel so weird to say distribution? I don't know. Anyways, one such distribution that I do know about is I believe it's called Lunar. Yeah, I think it's called Lunar. Um, but I use LazyVim. Not for any, very specific reason. The main reason is that that's what I started out with, and I haven't really found a reason to switch to anything else because it gets the job done for me. It's not like there's something within LazyVim that is, somewhat of an annoyance that I'm pretty sure would be solved if I was using Lunar instead. So I'm just continuing using LazyVim. I do know that there are people who have their, let's say, grievances when it comes to LazyVim. I've seen a bunch of people complaining about it as well. Like people have their own reasons to not like it. I haven't come across those reasons yet. So, I mean, it's been working for me for the past year, so I'm okay with that. Anyways, because I directly jumped into the distribution side of things, I never really took the time to learn how to configure NeoVim. how to set up key maps, how to install plugins. So I had to learn these things later on, bit by bit. And that's okay. That was my journey. Everyone has their own way of learning. Why was I talking about this? I forgot why I was talking about this. I was about to show you guys the lazy extras thing. So this lazy extras is essentially a set of features that you can enable within lazy vim, and enabling the features here generally means installing and configuring automatically. You don't have to do it manually usually. Automatically installing and configuring certain plugins. So for something like I don't know, coding mini snippets. If you look at the remaining names in that line, there's CMP mini snippets. That's another plugin, from my understanding. There's friendly snippets. That's another plugin. Then there's mini dot snippets. That's another plugin. And then there's Blink and NVim CMP. These are also other plugins. All of these together are required for this feature. The feature is called coding.mini snippets. And in this case, this specific feature is, or this specific extra, as they call it, is it's meant to introduce a new snippets system. I shouldn't say new, but a different snippets system. So I could use it to do something like okay, fn, and wait, is this the one? Yeah, this is the one. So here I can type some funk oh 01, and then notice how there's dots. There's different like markers when I'm typing something. When I'm There's different markers that I can jump to each time. So I typed out in the first marker, I typed out the name of the function. Then I hit tab. It automatically goes to the next marker. In that, I'll type, I don't know, I32. Then I hit tab again, and it immediately jumps to the next marker. Here I can, uh, yeah, I can just leave it as it is. So this is one example of snippets. Okay, so you'll notice it said mini snippets. Give me a second. Yeah, you'll notice it said mini snippets, or well, not here, but in the end here, at the end of this line. Sorry, this mini dot snippets. So this was also something that was kind of new to me. It turns out Mini is a family of plugins. It's not one plugin. Well, technically, it's one plugin through which you would install a bunch of the Mini plugins. You can install the entire library, and then you can enable and disable plugins as you see fit. Additionally, and that is if you download the entire, Mini library, which is, I think Gemini said like 40, around 40 plugins. There's various plugins for, uh, various purposes. Like there's mini dot snippets, there's a mini diff thing as well. I don't remember if I've looked into mini diff, like the specific features of mini diff, because one feature I do know about is this one. The overlay, I believe the overlay is coming from mini diff. Hold on. Um, what is it? G, and then, sorry, give me a second. Just diff. Is that it? No, there was a overlay thing. I can't remember where the overlay was. Oh, mini diff overlay. Yeah, this is it. This is one of the features of mini diff. You can enable an overlay to show, stuff that has been added, or I wonder how they show something that's been removed, let's say, or modified as well. So let's say I comment this out. Wait, that's interesting. Why did the thing pop up there? Oh, wait, the next method needs something. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't do it here, because it's gonna complicate things. Let's create. Okay, so you can already see, a difference. Like, there's a new line being created. Okay, so let's create a new function. Um, Wait. Oh, I am noticing a problem here. Oh, dude, I'm glad that this is still it's still respecting the tab thing. So when I hit tab, it's not just going to the next character, it's jumping to its next placeholder. So let's say A, the type will be I32, and as I'm typing, I don't have to erase the text. It's because it's placeholder, so it it you know erases by itself. Here we'll return an I32 and change this to return 0. Are we good? FN is not a member of. Oh, how do I do? Oh, wait. This is a. We are implementing the iterator trait here. We do not need to put it here. Why? Why did this happen though? I'm confused about this. Yeah, I'm confused about what's going on here. I wonder if this is a bug. I'm not sure. There was a way to refresh the entire UI. Let me just do that real quick. Give me a second. Redraw. That's not helping either. So let's reopen this. And now it's gone. Okay. All right. So back to what I was saying. So yeah, I've been installing I've been enabling lazy extra various lazy extras. Just, going through the lazy vim documentation and seeing if there's any specific features, any specific extras that I could use. Here's a very useful one that I had found a while back, but I didn't look too deep into it. This is essentially for incrementing and decrementing different types of values. Apparently, you can increment and decrement numbers, dates, even colors, hex values, and probably a couple more things, just by hitting a shortcut like this. And then you can also decrement. The Give me a second. Yeah, the key binding is a tiny bit weird, because I have to hit Control Shift A to increment, but Control X to decrement. I think it's supposed to be Control Shift X. However, in my case, because I'm using WesTerm, Control Shift X is bound to WesTerm's copy mode, so that's why I probably shouldn't be doing that. But that's fine. I can remember, Control Shift A and then Control X. And this is incredibly useful because, oh yeah, another thing, this can also be used to flip certain values like this. So if we have true, that can be flipped to false. If it's false, it can be flipped to true. If you have hex values, then it'll respect that. So let's say I type F0, okay, and then I try to increment this. It's going to keep incrementing, and watch what happens once it hits FF. Now it goes to 100. So this is actually counting in hexadecimal, not just in decimal. I haven't tried out floats yet. Let me try that out as well. So let's say um 0.56. I don't know what this is gonna how this is gonna increment. Okay, okay, all right, great, awesome. What if we do just one digit here? Yeah, it increments that. That's awesome, dude. Oh, actually, I'm also noticing that it increments in single digits always. Oh, I'm also noticing that it's freaking out for you guys. I forgot, dude. I forgot that I was supposed to work on um switching my workflow over to WesTerm from Tmux. It looks so weird when the thing glitches out for you guys. I do want to fix that, but then damn, that's gonna look horrible. Like especially when I try to clip in the future, whenever I do get to analyzing this VOD and I try to clip the thing, it's gonna look so weird because each time I, move the cursor up or down, the thing kind of freaks out. Okay, now it's not freaking out. Previously, okay, there you go. Now it's freaking out. I think it's towards lower, yeah, it's towards like the lower bounds. But when I'm in the upper section, then everything is fine. Then it's not freaking out a whole lot, which is kind of interesting. And this is a complex situation to this is a complex problem to solve because what's happening here is so this is a tmux session running um, within a WesTerm pane, right? This is a tmux session um, and a tmux window being displayed within a WesTerm pane. And above that, there's another tmux session being displayed in another WesTerm pane. And on the left side of that is a matrix rain, which is being displayed in its own pane. So these are three panes within one tab. And I've zoomed it out. And then I'm capturing that entire tab or that entire WesTerm window um, through OBS and then streaming it over RTMP so it can be captured on my laptop here, and then I'm streaming that to Twitch. The issue is that the machine on which I'm capturing this tmux session, that is not the machine on which I'm controlling the tmux session. That's not the machine from which I'm sending input into the session or even getting output from the session. That entire window is just so I can capture it and send it to my Windows machine so I can stream it to Twitch. That is meant to be for you guys to see, not for me to see. For me to see, I am SSHing into that machine from another machine. And this is all great because like all of this is possible only because I have a terminal based workflow. Like this is amazing to me. But yeah, to for my working purposes, I'm SSH'd into that machine from another machine, and I'm able to give input. Basically, I've SSH'd into that machine and I've attached to that very same tmux session this same tmux session that you guys can see glitching out when I go to the bottom. I'm SSH'd into, I've attached to this tmux session. So currently, there are two things that are looking at the session. There are two terminals that are looking at the session. So it's hard to determine exactly why the issue is occurring, but I'm wondering if at all, if it's possible that maybe because I've um, kind of shrunk the working space. It's hard to explain what I'm trying to say, but like I've kind of cramped things together to well, I've crammed things. I was about to say I've cramped them, but no, I've crammed things together and they are cramped together um in order to sort of fit within that window so I can then stream it over RTMP. Um I don't know if the it being crammed together with other things is what's causing the glitch. That is a possibility. Because like I could try here. Well, this doesn't seem to be glitching. Though over here, if I go to something like Yahtzee, maybe. No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, speaking of anyways, okay, moving on from the glitching thing. I was playing around with a bunch of the lazy extras. I was exploring a bunch of the lazy extras. There was the dial thing for, incrementing and decrementing values. There was also I noticed this git UI. And this is great because all I had to do was enable this feature. And I think maybe Mason had to install something separately. You do need to have Git UI installed. This is specifically for Git UI. Here's the amazing thing. Okay. Um, what was it? I think D. No, not D. Git UI. There you go. I can open up Git UI from within NeoVim itself. That is insane, dude. I did not think about this before. This is great. This is awesome. So like now I don't even need to, um, switch windows to, look at Git UI in a different window. I can just open up Git UI right here. That's crazy, dude. One more thing that I was looking into, and I haven't explored this a whole lot. So, I have been coding for close to a decade and a half. I think so. Decade and a half, close to 2 decades, maybe. I don't know. I've been coding for, let's say, a decade and a half. And throughout that time, I've rarely ever touched debugging tools. To give you an idea of how rarely I touch them, I I didn't touch them at all in regular programming. The only time that I actually touched debugging tools was when I was learning assembly, x86 assembly, and I wanted to know what my program is doing at every single step, because debugging an assembly program allows you to step through each and every instruction and see the state of your CPU and memory and a bunch of other very useful information. It's super useful for those kinds of situations. Uh, in regular programming, it does have its uses. I just didn't always find a use case for it, or rather, I should say, I was usually happy with, debug.log or, print line, basically printing statements to the console. That was my method of debugging. That being said, debugging tools are incredibly powerful. They are very useful for a lot of purposes, especially if you're writing a very complex program. You're not going to have to do a whole lot of guessing work. You're not going to have to do a whole lot of like mental math to, you're not going to have to do a whole lot of mental math to figure out that, oh, so and so during so and so iteration, we're going to have so and so value for this specific variable. No, you can just set a breakpoint and start stepping through the code, and it'll show you the values. The great thing is, now, okay, this usually requires a bit of a setup because you need a debugger, depending on which language you are using and what set of tools are available to you. You may or may not need a debugger. And fortunately, with Lazy Vim, those tools are already provided. So all you need to do is um, enable the feature. In my case, I had to just enable, I think it was dap.core, because just like how there's a language server protocol, apparently there's a debug adapter protocol, I think it's called. And this debug adapter protocol, it essentially defines how one of those debugging programs will be interacting with your editor in order to provide you with debugging functionality. Just like how, the language server protocol dictates how a language server would be interacting with your editor to provide you with language server related functionality like IntelliSense, code completion, for example. So similar to that, there's debug adapter protocol, or DAP, and you have a bunch of different types of debuggers. Depending on your language, you're going to be picking specific debuggers, but there's already stuff chosen for you. There's like, um, what do you call it? Community chosen tools, or tools that are preferred. And I have, like, I'm still new to, debugging itself. Like I said, the most debugging that I've done was when I was going through assembly programs, when I was writing assembly programs and I wanted to see what's going on inside the program. Then I would step through the entire thing. um, Other than that, in higher level languages, I have rarely ever touched debuggers. And I want to change that. I want to get into the habit of using debuggers in various languages. So far, like at the moment, my daily drivers are Rust and Python. Uh, I used to be I used to be a C# programmer for like more than a decade. I have like a decade's worth of experience in C sharp, and also a decade's worth of experience in Python as well. But these days I don't use C sharp a whole lot. These days it's mainly Rust and Python. Anything that I'm trying to do, any problems that I'm trying to solve, any projects that I'm trying to build, I'm most likely going to be doing it either in either in Python or in Rust, which is kind of interesting because if if you try to rank these three languages in terms of something being low level, high level, or mid level, Python is actually a very high level language. Rust is a very low level language, and C sharp is right in between the two of them. This is coming from, like, I'm saying this having a decade's plus worth of experience in C sharp. C sharp is like the middle ground between the two of these languages in terms of, something being high level or low level. It's a decent middle ground. So there's a reason why this language has always been considered a very general purpose language. Um, but yeah, I don't do C sharp anymore. I juggled C sharp, Python, and Rust for a good couple of years, and I constantly found myself making mistakes because I would mix up the syntax between the two. Not because I would forget. It's just like as you are coding, as you're programming, muscle memory kind of kicks in, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm typing out so and so function in C sharp. It would be sorry, I was I stopped to think for a second. In C sharp, you usually provide the return type first. In Rust, you would do fn. In Python, you would do def, but in C sharp, you provide the return type. So if it's not returning anything, you would do void. If you're returning an integer, you would do int. If you're returning a string, you would do string, and so on. Okay, all right. Give me a second. Okay, I'm gonna step away for a couple of minutes, and I will be back, and then we will get back into Git. Okay, I am back, and I'm not sure if I remembered to mute the stream. before leaving. Yeah, I don't I don't know. I don't know if I muted the stream. Anyways, I mean, if I didn't, you guys probably heard like weird sounds of me moving the mic stand and me trying to somehow bend my body in a way that I can get out of the place where I'm sitting without hitting the mic stand. Yeah, yeah. Uh, Let me switch back. Oh, I also need to start up the RTMP feed. Um, let's transition back. Um, Let me also refresh the feed and we should be good. Yeah, we are good. Uh, give me a second. Okay, sorry about that. So, back to uh Git things. Okay, so Wait, give me a second here. Just need to put on some background sound. That is good. Okay, great. Awesome. Now, uh, I guess we can get back to this. Let's just make sure we are good in terms of lag. Yeah, I think we are good for the most part. Yeah, okay. You know what? I'm realizing that the issue tends to happen. Oh, you know what? The issue is actually happening because this glitching issue is actually happening because I've kept the, what do you call it? I've kept the size way too small. The size for the window way too small, and that's why it glitches whenever I'm trying to show you guys something. Oh, sorry, whenever I'm at the bottom here, because notice how right now it's already at the bottom. It's not exactly at the bottom right now, but it's showing up as being at the bottom right now. That is why we are having this issue. It's not actually at the bottom. There's still a good like 6 lines that it can go down. But when I go down, now it shows up like this. And when I go to the next line, now it starts to glitch. Yeah, so the problem is what I was, how I've set this up. One solution here, one possible solution, I have no idea how well this is going to work, but let me try it. So something I could try here is making all of this smaller. So that would maybe give it a little more space. Okay, how about now? Okay, we would still have that issue. What is it? How does it look on stream right now? You know what? It still seems readable. Maybe I could go smaller. Um, what about now? Is that okay, or does that make it way too small? I kind of feel like that makes it way too small. But like, let's test it out. Okay, for today's stream, we'll test this out. I'll shrink this a little more. So now we have a lot more space here. Oh, okay. Now it's now there's space on the right side that is not being utilized, which it will be utilized later on. But you know what? If there's no space, if that space is not being utilized on the right side, and I know for sure that it's not going to be used at all, give me a second. I need to watch my stream later on to see if this size of text is okay or not. Actually, I could open up my stream right now because if this works out, then I think I've found the perfect like zoom level. Um, hold on. Okay, you know what? The glitch could still occur, but there's a lower chance of it happening. Yeah, and we have a lot more room here as well. We have a lot more real estate here as well. I don't think the matrix rain looks that bad. Like, I mean, you know how small it is. I don't think it's that bad. Give me a second. I'm just trying to get the aesthetics right. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we're good. Um this works. This works. And it turns out we now have space on the right side to do something. So I can probably add something on the right side in the future. Um, and here we don't need to worry about this too much because eventually there's going to be the webcam, and the webcam is going to take up a good like this, like starting from here, I guess, up to there. I could enable the, oh, I don't want to touch the web. Oh, wait, I can see the, no, you know what? I'm wrong about that. It is here. It's starting from here. The webcam will be taking up this much, going up to there. And I can adjust this level a little bit. If it needs to be smaller, I can make this smaller just to give the NeoVim window a little more room. That's not an issue. Yeah, dude, I can do that. Okay, cool. Great. In fact, now we can fit more stuff in here. So if I open up Git UI, now the whole Git UI should be showing up. It's still a tiny bit cramped. It's not as, you know, it's not showing everything that it could be showing, but it's decent. I'll say that. It's decent. I should have done this a while back, dude. But yeah, we just improved the glitch issue, which means I am probably going to be able to put off the move of multiplexing from tmux to westterm for a little bit longer because I want to properly study. I need to do. Hold on. Um, okay, what's in my new focus list here? We have the content pipeline and this. Impel Rust, analog electronics. I'm doing these two. Great. I need to get back to that. Get back to learning Rust basics. Hold on, we're dropping frames, and that's because I'm overloading my connection. I shouldn't have done that. That is my fault. Let's fix that issue, and then we can open up the stream again later on. Though, I mean, now I know that, it's, yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay. All right. We need to get back to polars, dude. I do not want to let polars go because holy shit, it is useful. It is useful as hell. It is useful as hell. This needs to change though. This needs to change to V0.5. Content pipeline V1. And then here we're gonna create a new one. Content pipeline. Actually, I don't need this. Um, I already have the project, so um, I can change this to check project slash repo because I'm setting up a repo for it as well. In fact, I believe I have the project here already. But yeah, wait, I had to add something to the list. I forgot what I was planning on adding back to this list. I'd come to this for a reason. Um, what was it? We had our AI low level studies. We had the high level stuff. There was a specific thing that I had to come back to which was the reason why I was coming back here to write this stuff. I can't remember what it was. Let's come back here. Um, yeah, yeah. I can't remember what it was. Okay, I've lost my train of thought. So we're gonna get back to Git. Okay, Git basics, working with remotes. So prior to this, we had the chapter of um, we are currently in chapter two. We I haven't looked completely into reverting and resetting so far. I need to learn the difference. More specifically, I'm looking at reset, not revert, because with revert, what I've noticed is it actually creates a commit saying that you're reverting so and so commit, or maybe reverting back to so and so commit. I don't remember. I think it's reverting to so and so commit. Wait, how many? Okay, so let's come here and we wanna revert. Revert would be D. Can we, like, should I have this selected or have that selected? Let's try having this selected. I should have looked at the commit. Let's abort this and come here. Okay. E9C559. Okay. Let's take a look at what the changes were in this. So the change here was that we, I believe, added those extra lines and then removed GHI. But if we look here, oh, these are two different files. Um, okay, if we are reverting the change, what are we reverting it to? Is it looking for like a previous blob? What is it reverting to? Or is it reverting the current state back to that state? Like, okay, let's try this. Okay, revert. It removes those things and adds this. Okay, no, I'm confused. Let's revert that. Or sorry, abort that. Um, yeah, I need to look into. Wait. Oh, you know what? Um, Git basics. Uh, relearn. Git basics. Branches, remotes, and tags. Actually, revert, reset, branches, remotes, and tags. Okay, this is what we're going to be focusing on right now. The content pipeline, actually, this is now higher on the list because I'm actively developing this. This is like actively in development. I have the project open somewhere here. It says this was changed. I'm not sure where it was changed. Anyways, um, where is the content pipeline? Oh, it might be back here. Yes, yes, it is here. So this is the command that I would be running. I changed I changed the thing a little bit. This is the README. I've been working on um, the README for this tool, this entire content pipeline project. And I added instructions. So there's like, you build the clip manifest using Gemini or any other LLM that can read the transcript of a video through a YouTube link, because that's how I'm doing it. And oh, I also need to specify that it is expecting a certain format, and that is the format that you need to make sure the LLM gives you the response in. I should mention that as well. Or I could have like a clip manifest template. I could have that. I could have something like that, and then that can be like a reference for anyone who wants to set up something. This is basically the clip manifest. It's a list of dictionaries, list of well, yeah, dictionaries, um, and this is in JSON. This can then be parsed using a JSON parser. In my case, I'm doing it in Python, and then each of the dictionaries is considered a clip. So based on the information provided, like the start time and the end time, I export, from this time to that time, and then that's my clip. I also give it a suitable name. Actually, I kind of um, simplify this. I forgot what the word for that was. There's a word for that where you make some text URL friendly. Sanitize file name. That's I don't think that's the word that I was looking for, but this is the word that we are going with right now. But though, I mean, yeah, to be fair, it is close to that. We are essentially sanitizing the file name so that we can use it as so we can use it. Sorry, we are sanitizing the title, which has uppercase characters. It has spaces. It can have other types of characters. In some cases, Gemini throws in emojis in there, um, like this. So all of these things will get stripped out, and then it'll create like a simple version of it. So if we are looking at this title, for example, why space you space need, basically why you need a relay module. I don't know about the parentheses, the brackets, and I don't know about this exclamation mark, because I'm using very simple regex to kind of strip away non-alphanumeric characters. And so I'm guessing everything except for actually I don't know what's gonna happen with, because I am allowing hyphen. Yeah, I am allowing hyphen. What does this do again? This strips everything that isn't alphanumeric, a space, a hyphen, or an underscore. Okay, so we are leaving those in. All right. Okay. Uh yeah, yeah. Um I forgot why I was showing this, but yeah, I've been making a lot more progress on the content pipeline. I'm going to be changing the way that I export the final version of the clips. Um, I still have to work on that. What do you call it? The jump cuts algorithm. I still have to work on that. What I'm thinking is I'll create a separate script for that, and that's going to be like um, a one-off kind of thing where it's like, okay, I use FFmpeg to first generate the or I use FFmpeg's, I think it's called the sound detect or silence detect filter. I'll use that to generate a bunch of timestamps for, you know, where there's no silence and where there is silence, or however the filter gives the values. I'll generate those values through the filter, and then I'll parse those values, because after they're generated, they'll be written to some sort of file, and then I have to parse that file through my Python script. And then I will invoke ffmpeg to properly go through the VOD, find those sections that are specified, and you know um, pick out those sections and properly encode, or pick out those sections, stitch them together, and properly encode, re-encode the entire video. It's going to be a slightly longer process. It'll take slightly longer to do, but I think in the end it'll be worth it, because with my lazy method, I'm able to extract the clips, and that's great, right? However, there are a few situations where I am noticing we run into some issues, because I've noticed when I upload the clip to Instagram, for example, sometimes the audio and video is out of sync. And I have a feeling that if I re-encode the video, I'm not going to have that problem. I could be completely wrong about that, right? I guess I'll find out. If later on I actually, no, hold on. I have no choice in, like, once I start using the silence detect thing, because there's going to be, multiple jump cuts. It'll be like, okay, if we have from, hold on, I need a scratch. Where's my NeoVim session here? Okay, some text. So let's say our clip, I don't know, let's say it is from, I don't know, 5 minutes to, let's say, 10 minutes. Okay, now in between this, what if I determine that I want from 5 minutes to 5 minutes and 30 seconds, but then the next thing that I want is at 6 minutes and 20 seconds. So there has to be, we have to capture the video from here to here, and then the next thing should be from 6 minutes to 20 seconds up to, let's say, 6 minutes and, or 7 minutes and 50 seconds, right? And then we go on like that, like 7 minutes and so on. So and this is a very simplified example, but like there's going to be a lot of jump cuts like this, right? The jump cut here is from 5 minutes and 30 seconds to 6 minutes and 20 seconds. So let's assume that there was a lot of dead air in there. This is just as an example. The dead air is usually going to be shorter, but let's say, I mean, to be fair, I do have situations where the dead air tends to be a tiny bit longer as well. So yeah, this could apply there as well. Um, but yeah. So the idea is, it um, FFmpeg, I'm going to hand it all of these timestamps. And what it's going to do is it's going to go through the entire VOD, first decode it, and then go through the entire VOD, go from this timestamp to this timestamp, pull that out, then go from this timestamp to this timestamp, pull that out, and then go from the next one to the next one. Basically, I'm specifying all of the jump cuts that it's supposed to do. So it ends up with these little slices. And this is like the decoded video. This is my understanding of how it's going to work. I need to confirm with Gemini that this is the case, but I'm guessing, if I'm not wrong, that this is the case, because with this specific kind of action, we do actually need to decode it, which could take, a bit of time, which that's fine. Um, You know what I could do? At some point later, maybe no, I feel like that'll over complicate the yeah, never mind. So it's gonna pull out these little slices and keep it in memory, and then it'll stitch all of those slices together, and at the end, it re-encodes that entire segment. So that's now a fresh new clip. This isn't using like the older encoding. It's not using lazy the lazy way of slicing videos, which doesn't bother decoding stuff, and because of that, it can like miss information, or you could get like frozen frames. You could get desyncs over time. You could get just black screens. Any number of issues could occur. In this case, we will be re-encoding the entire thing, and I'm aiming to keep my clips short, mostly below 3 minutes, because on social media, it kind of seems like those kinds of clips work better. Not to mention, um, on Instagram, it explicitly tells you that any reel that's over 3 minutes is not going to be pushed to a newer audience. So then that becomes kind of a waste to post if it's not being pushed to a new audience. So it explicitly wants short form content. On YouTube, the limit for reels is 3 minutes. Sorry, limit for shorts, which is basically, their version of short form content. It's 3 minutes, at least from what I know. Um, Threads and Twitter don't have a limit, but I don't know if they push longer videos. I don't know like how that works. On TikTok as well, they actually on TikTok, I feel like they kind of want longer than 3 minutes. I don't remember what the situation was there, what the logic was there. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, that's the next step of this content pipeline that I need to work on, which is basically jump cuts. Because what I get now from what I get as a result of my lazy clip extraction is a bunch of smaller clips which allow me to jump from this point to that point in my stream without having to watch the entire stream, and that lets me pick segments of interest, and then I can decide that, oh, within this segment maybe there might be something worth clipping. Then I determine the time, and I feed that into a new ffmpeg command. Now though, I think what I'll do is, once I've determined that, yeah, this is I want from this time to that time, I'll note down that time, and or not even note it down. I'll pass it into the new script that I'm working on to um, I think I'll call it extract with jump cuts. Yeah, I'll call it that. Extract with jump cuts, or extract with silence removal. That's a good one. Extract with silence removal, because the specific filter that I'm using is for silence detection. And once I have the silence detection, based on that, I'm going to be, pulling out the clips and stitching them together and then re-encoding the entire thing. Yeah, yeah. Okay. You know what? I think that's going to be it for today's stream. I do need to end the stream a tiny bit early today. How long have we been going? It's only been an hour and almost 10 minutes. I guess that's not bad. I should have started the stream earlier. I did try, but then I got busy with something, and yeah, I couldn't do it. The good news, though, is that today we did make some progress. We figured out this little Western glitch that I was having. Not even a Western. Actually, okay, kind of is a Western glitch, because I wasn't having this issue on in the Kitty terminal when I was doing this exact same thing. So kind of a Western glitch with Tmux windows being too small and being controlled from another screen. That's yeah, that's the best way I can explain it. We figured out that problem, we've solved that problem, and now we have some more real estate on the right side. I can probably place something on the right side in the future. Yeah, I can probably do something with that. I could um maybe I could like go into this pane and split it and like give that its own pane and have like a separate a separate sort of animation going on there. I don't know. I'll see. I'll see. But that's going to be it for today's stream. I'm not going to raid anyone today. I am just going to get back to working on stuff. There's two things that I need to focus on right now, and I have them in my. Give me a second. I have them in my list here. There's relearning Git. I need to focus on reverting and resetting. I think I'll look into these two off stream, and then I need to continue with the content pipeline. Um, um, Hold on. What was I gonna call it? Yeah, jump cuts. No, extract with silence removal. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So that's gonna be it for today's stream. I hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.